So I'm delighted this morning to announce the first prize of the project fair, and the prize that I'm announcing is the School of Computer Science Award, and the prize is going to Hong Chuan Huang for his project, which is YouTube to podcast. And we selected this project because it's a very technically strong project. It has a really interesting use case, which is very useful, and it's complete. It's ready to go. So congratulations, Hong Chuan, and well done on your project. Thank you.
Here I am located in a typical classroom on a new campus in Grange Gorman. This is one of the medium-sized rooms with capacity for approximately 60 students. As with all of our teaching rooms, there are many technological features to assist in teaching and learning, such as wireless overhead projectors, multiple screens, etc. The layout is flat to provide a more intimate setting for engagement between our students and lecturers. Desks can be arranged according to the needs of the lecturer with the ability to create breakout teams. The lecturer is free to walk amongst the students and to be able to present from anywhere within the teaching space. I would now like to introduce you to Eva Mcdonald from DocuSoft. Eva would like to say a few words about DocuSoft and their links to TU Dublin before announcing the winner of their prize.
Thank you, Damien, and it's great to be back here, unfortunately, virtually. And Deirdre, you're right, we never would have believed it last year that we'd be here again, but look, here we are. And I want to say, you know, really well done to all the students who've managed to create really fantastic projects, kind of notwithstanding the circumstances. And we'll come back to the projects in just a second. We have two awards here today, and it was a really difficult decision. But DocuSoft has a really long-standing relationship with TU Dublin, and in fact, many of our current colleagues are former students within the university and are building, you know, really successful careers within the organisation and adding immense value. And what we love about TU Dublin is the calibre and quality of the students. You know, not only do they leave the university with a really great education, but they're also really well-rounded people, great assets to our team, and just people that make our organisation a great place to work. So we're really proud to, you know, be sponsoring projects here today, and we had a judging panel that was made up of a number of former students within the university, and it was that kind of well-rounded approach that we took when we were identifying the projects that we wanted to win awards. And so the first one is for, and I hope we have them in the right order, Damien, but the first one is to Alexandru Cardas for Project Odin. And well done, Alexandru. The reason we awarded this prize to Alexandru was because we could see that his project was very complex and he put a huge amount of work into it, and it was a very unique idea, but he knew exactly what he was doing, and he was able to explain the technical side of the project very well, so we were really impressed with that.
That's fantastic. Well done, Alexandru, and I did get the order right, Eva, so thank you very much. The second prize winner.
Yeah, the second prize winner. So I'm going to say that the second prize winner scored really highly in terms of our judging, but to say that it was a really good idea, executed really well, and was such a lovely, simple idea that even I could understand it, that says a lot. And that goes to Cormac Smith for the Flower Recognition app.
Well done, Cormac Smith. Well done. And Alexandru, excellent award winners there. Thank you very much, Eva. I really appreciate what you've done. Here we can see one of the computer labs. There are 9 dedicated labs to our computer science programs on the campus. Each lab has a capacity for approximately 25 students. There is an additional space for students working on their final year projects. The layout of the lab is flat to provide a more intimate setting for engagement between our students and lecturers. Lecturers are free to walk amongst the students to provide support as required. I want to introduce our presenter from Bearing Point, Shauna Fitzgerald. Shauna, do you have anything to say about your relationship with TU in Dublin and possibly why you've chosen the student for your prize?
Absolutely, Damien, and thanks very much. It's Sean Fitzgerald standing in for Joanne Flynn there just this afternoon. I mean, listen, for anyone not familiar with Bearing Point, I mean, we're a leading technology consulting firm, and I guess, you know, we've enjoyed a long-standing relationship with TUD. I guess in addition to sponsoring a prize category at the Project Fair every year, we hire interns and graduates every year from the computer science stream, and you know, the standard of candidate has always been so high. I suppose on that point, I mean, just for anyone who is still looking at graduate opportunities, Bearing Point are still actively hiring for the technology consulting side of the business. So if anyone is interested in checking those out, bearingpointcareers.ie has a full list of all our current graduate opportunities. I guess just to get down to the task at hand, the project that we've selected is awarded to someone who has come up with a real world problem, had a very clear objective, which was to store and access medical records securely. She did all the right things from a delivery perspective, used an agile and design thinking approach, kept focused on our customer requirements, and continually made improvements along the way. So without further ado, the winner of this year's Bearing Point sponsored Best Communicator Prize category is Tafe Albi with the eVita project. So congratulations to Tafe, well deserved.
Well done.
We'll be in touch directly with you about your prize.
From here we can see the grounds of Grange Gorman. In the distance you can see the sports grounds, which are merely a corner throw from the central quad building where we're located. Closer to the building, there is seating to allow students to enjoy the fresh air and the sunshine. I would now like to introduce you to Shauna Johnston. Shauna works for TU Dublin Hothouse and would like to say a few words before announcing the winner of their prize.
Yeah, thanks, and nice to be here again this year. All of the projects were very well done. So Hot House, if you haven't heard of us, we are the technology transfer office for TU Dublin City Campus. So what that really means is that we look to protect and commercialize the intellectual property from our staff and students, and student entrepreneurship is my own area that I specifically work in. So I'm very happy to be here. And again, the projects were very well done. There were some really tough decisions to be made, like they were very impressive. And so the award that we are going to give this year is for the most commercial potential. And we are giving this to Daniel Simons for the blockchain solution to electronic prescriptions and prescribing. We found this was just a very a real world problem, a very pressing problem with a brilliant solution that could really look to help quite a few people and get really, move things forward. And Hot House is quite happy to support this going forward to further commercialize. I think that was something Daniel was interested in. And I'll also just mention, so we did want to have a runner-up, just an honorable mention to Martina Niekars. Sorry, I probably said your name terribly wrong, for your My Skin project, which was just an app to kind of help identify skin cancer lesions for people who can't get to the dermatologist. Again, a nice real world problem that can have some really far-reaching impacts and help a lot of people. So
you can see one of the common spaces dotted throughout the campus. These spaces are designed for students to get some well-deserved R&R between classes. The soft furnishings and the multiple screens serve to create a very relaxed ambience. I would now like to introduce you to Louise O'Donovan from Fidelity Investments. Louise would like to say a few words about Fidelity Investments and their links to TU Dublin before announcing the winner of their prize.
Congratulations to everybody for a wonderful event, and shout out to Isolt as well. The unsung heroes that, there's so much work behind the scenes to bring this event together, and, albeit virtual, I really want to compliment you guys on an incredible event. And this year to actually see the projects digital and being able to go in there and actually go through them, it's I mean, who would have thought, right? As we said last year, I mean, I think we were all just delighted the event happened and it was awesome, and this year you just excelled. So look, Fidelity Investments, for those of you that don't know Fidelity, we are a global company. We were, initially American, way back in the 40s, an American investment company, and truly is global. We have sites in China, large presence in India, and actually 2 offices in Ireland, one in Galway and one in Dublin. So opportunities there for those that may not even be, located near the capital. If you're from the west of Ireland and you were ever interested in a career with Fidelity Investments, be sure and check us out as well. Very focused on technology, full stack engineers, data engineers, quality engineers, engineering mindset is what we're looking for, and an appetite to be part of, a company that is really, really invested in your learning and supports your career growth. And yes, we have a program for graduates, so it's called LEAP. So please check us out as well on our website if anybody's interested in that, or happy, Damien, afterwards for you to share my email with anyone that might be interested in catching up. So look, onto the prizes.
Yes.
So the first award that Fidelity have 2 prizes for is actually Daniel again. So congratulations, Daniel. I just want to echo the words that Shauna so eloquently put forward before me. So I won't repeat. I think we both felt, for very, very different reasons, that Daniel was a very, very worthy winner, and they were completely unrelated and unlinked. Daniel stood out for me, stood out for Shauna, but for similar reasons, and congratulations, you've been awarded a prize by Fidelity. And then the second prize I'd like to award is to Fiona Mcnamara. So congratulations, Fiona. What really stood out for me there, I think, is, I loved your storytelling. You really drew me in. You identified a problem that was lived by yourself. You clearly had some challenges, and you had identified challenges working in the retail industry, and credit to you for identifying that and putting a solution together that, a mobile app, but it was really great to see JavaScript, RESTful services, back end. Within Fidelity, we look for full stack engineers that, have a whole rounded view and a holistic view of technology from front end right through to back end. So, I hope it makes somebody's life easier if it did get deployed in the retail industry, because fair play to you, you work hard, and any improvements in process there would be welcomed relief, I'm sure, from employees. So well done.
Here we are in one of our very large lecture theatres. This lecture theatre can seat over 230 students. As you can see, it's stepped to facilitate the large numbers. I would now like to introduce you to Alan Fahey from SAP. Alan would like to say a few words about SAP and their links to TU Dublin before announcing the winner of their prize.
I'd like to first echo the words of Deirdre and Eva earlier on. From Deirdre's perspective, Deirdre's comments about this being an extraordinary time and you guys rising to the occasion, I couldn't agree more. And Eva's comments about TU Dublin graduates being, really excellent graduates that are in demand, that have a really bright future ahead of them. I couldn't agree more with the sentiments of both. I would point out though as well that Deirdre Lillis has been telling me that this is going to happen in Grangegorman now for about 3.5 or 4 years. So I won't blame you, Deirdre, for it not being in Grangegorman this year. But yeah, SAP's had a good long history over the last 10 years with TU Dublin building relationships and across all 3 campuses as well. We have to remember that it's not just the Kevin Street campus. Our relationship is wide and deep. And we've really invested in that relationship going forward. This year, we're going to sponsor one of the new labs on the Grangegorman campus in the Central Quad. And we're really, really pleased to kind of connect with TU Dublin at that level for the next 2 years. The prize that we give out each year at the final year project fair, we call it the SAP Luno Carroll Prize. And Lune was a colleague of ours and a TU Dublin graduate. And he died very suddenly about 6 years ago now at this stage. And his colleagues got together and we wanted to mark his passing and his contribution. And to do that, we felt the best way to do it was to encourage and to live what Lune had lived in his day-to-day work life, which is really encouraging early talents and new talents and really kind of pushing the boundaries in terms of new technology and what it could do. So in reviewing the projects over the last number of years, we've always approached the projects from that perspective. What's new, what's breakthrough, and what's really good. This year's winner was a standout for us because we thought it was a project that we'd seen before. We thought it was a solution that had been addressed before. But on the presentation of the student, we realized what they had done is actually not created the app that was already in the market. What they had done is actually created the app that the market actually wanted. And for that reason, we're awarding the prize to Vlad Anton Mendez for his project on the Dublin bus timetabling and predictive analytics in terms of next arrival of a bus.
Well done, Vlad, fantastic, well done. Really well done on that. And Alan, thank you very much for those lovely kind words, and especially about Luno Carroll. I think that's lovely continuity and a lovely way to remember his contribution. So well done, Vlad, fantastic prize. We now come to the final prize of the day, the big prize, worth at least €5,000. I would now like to introduce you to Josephine Alston from Okico. Jo would like to say a few words about Okico and their links to TU Dublin before announcing the winner of the prize.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Damien. We've been delighted for the past 10 years alongside Alan, my nemesis at TUD. We've both enjoyed at least 10 years at the project fair and sponsoring various events in TUD, and successfully so. In Okico, we take on about 5 to 7 interns every year, and we benefit from the experience. I believe they benefit too. A large proportion of our employees in Dublin are TUD graduates, including our CEO, by the way. So we're delighted to continue this relationship with them. We started sponsoring the main prize because we felt that the students needed to have, as our CEO calls it, a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, something, something to reach for. So our prize is a check for €5,000, which will hopefully help a student either in additional education, or or working further with their project, or maybe getting a big car. Who knows? So the winner of this prize was a person who was praised by all of the judges. It was a very difficult decision. There were a lot of very good candidates for the overall prize, and there was some negotiating and toing and froing, but ultimately everybody agreed that that the prize should go to this candidate, who technically did a very good project, a huge amount of work in it, plenty of challenges. Damien, anything else you'd like to add on the technical aspect of this project?
Well, certainly this student got mentioned quite a few times for
Yes.
the completeness, the complexity. Delivering a complete project is really challenging, and even more so in today's environment where we've been doing it online and all our sessions have been online. So, this is a really worthy winner. And I'm dying to hear, Joe, who it is. Will we just go for it?
We will go for it. So the winner of the overall Project Fair prize is Marcel Kowalczyk. I hope I'm pronouncing the name properly. Congratulations and well done, Marcel. Very well deserved. You'll find me on LinkedIn, or Damien will give you my email address so that we can make sure we get that cash prize to you.
That's fantastic, Pride. Marcel, well done. Absolutely fantastic achievement. Like I say, you were discussed many times by many of our judging panel for this particular prize. This was not just chosen by Okico. All the judges involved were involved in nomination students for this prize. So you are a very clear winner. So well done on that. Fantastic. And Joe, thank you very much for those kind words and for this very generous gift.
And thanks to everybody into UD, including Isolt, who again does extraordinary work. Without you guys into UD, we wouldn't be benefiting from these wonderful students.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors for their continued support and for the very generous prizes they've handed out today. I hope we can continue our links with you into the future. We look forward to seeing some of our graduates that you have taken on over the years, returning to see how we have gone from strength to strength. We also hope you've enjoyed this very brief tour of the new campus, and we look forward to seeing you all on campus next September. For our current fourth years, I know you'll be leaving us this year, some of you to take up employment with some of our Project Fair sponsors. Either way, we hope to invite you to a very special open day sometime in the first semester to let you see the new campus and to meet with each other and with us lecturers. You can treat this as your first reunion. It only remains for me to wish you well in your studies and in your future employment. So I would like to now hand over to Brian Keegan. Dr. Brian Keegan is an assistant head of school. Brian, would you like to say a few words, please?
Sure. Thanks a million, Damien. So first of all, I guess really a massive thank you to all of our generous prizes and our generous prize givers today. This industry support is vital for us. It's vital for our undergraduates and providing pathways after education. So we look forward to really kind of growing this kind of support as we move to Grangegorman. And as Alan mentioned there, that the likes of kind of supporting a new lab, I think we can do great things from this kind of setup that we have when we move. But really a huge thank you today. One of our judges really kind of noted about the amount of work that goes behind the scenes, and it is a massive amount of work to get today's program online with Peter, Anna, Isolt and Damien kind of putting this together. It's not the same as our in-person one, of course, but it still takes a massive amount of work, technical glitches. A year into this, and we're learning to live a lot better with them. We roll with them, I think, a lot better than we would have before. It would have been a lot more panicky, but we've grown to just accept it, which is great. So a really big thank you though to Damien Gordon, who he spends a lot of time preparing the students all year long, and of course the supervisors that made this all happen as well. Without their contribution and involvement, the students wouldn't they wouldn't be as well as prepared as they would be when they get to this. And really they're the main stars, I guess, of today. The students kind of from each of the programs who work really hard to submit all of their work, and for this very kind of competitive competition. I don't think they realize how competitive it is when they submit their work, but it's a really difficult job, I think, for the judges when we come to the judging panel. And it's a real diverse display as well of the kind of stuff that they've learned over the years. So this project fair it's a fantastic showcase to demonstrate the skills that the students have learned over the last few years, and really what is unique as well is that it's an opportunity to demonstrate their interest in computer science, and that's the bit that I love. It's not just the programming element of it, that the project brings out what they're actually really kind of passionate about, and I think that's real obvious in the projects that we see. So the amount of work required for the students to get here should really be applauded, I think, and I know it's not the same online, but it definitely is an acknowledgement. So one of the things as well that should be noted is that the students, they've been working online for a year now, especially our fourth year students in particular. And many of these have met this challenge through work placement and remote learning. So today is a great example then of the culmination of the effort that's really required to meet this challenge. So as Damien was saying there, we're going to call it, we're going to say that we're going to be back on campus next September, unless something horrid goes wrong. But we hope to be back in some fashion. So as well, for our fourth year students, we keep saying that this is almost, I'm seeing the pictures that are coming up in the chat there, and it saddens me in a way, because it's what we promised you and what you could have had. But listen, we're never that far away. Please do feel free to come in and see the facility. There's lots going on after you graduate as well, but we will have some sort of event, I think, to bring you back to meet in person or something like that. But so from the School of Computer Science, thanks again to everybody. Best of luck for all our students that have attended here today in your exams, and in particular our final year students, as always, in your presentations, which will be coming up as well in the next couple of weeks. So I'm looking out, it's a little bit sunny, so I think you should go out and celebrate or enjoy your kind of evening off. And thanks again. Hopefully we'll see you on campus next year.